You're listening to Inklings of Insight.
So I've got a new book summary for you. It's called From Strength to Strength by Arthur C. Brooks. It's about finding success, happiness, and deep purpose in the second half of life. So while this summary might seem at first to only be something that's really important to people who are in that latter phase of their life, so older people, I would actually encourage even younger people to think about the fact that most of us grow old. So it could still be extremely valuable for younger people to kind of understand what that last phase of their life should look like and how they should plan and prep for that particular period of their life. So you'll notice that we kind of have this historic theme here, and that's because a couple of the leaders that we're going to reference are actually from the Roman reign or the Roman era. And one of the leaders that we're going to be talking about is Cicero, and he had some fundamental beliefs about older age. One, that it should be dedicated to service. It should be, secondly, centered around wisdom that could be passed down, and third, it's natural for older people to be mentors, advisors, and teach others. And then finally, it should be centered less around material things like money, power, prestige, and rather it should be focused on giving back. So that was the key perspective of Cicero about older age. And as we get into this, and as you hopefully get a chance to read the summary, you'll understand why the development of the human mind and how it ages is conducive to this particular structure that Cicero is speaking to. I want to also reference another Roman leader, Cincinnatus, who was actually a Roman emperor or dictator who actually walked away kind of at the peak of his power. When he actually returned the Roman state to stability, he actually resigned and retired and went to go live on a small farm where he was able to kind of lead a quiet life with his family. And I mean, we think about other, prominent figures like our athletes, your Michael Jordans, your Tom Brady's of the world, Serena Williams, who ultimately had to retire. And I think that it can be a difficult thing to understand when you should walk away from the thing that has really been a major cornerstone of your life and your success and um, everything that you've kind of been passionate about and valued. It's a huge question, to ask yourself, when should you walk away? But one of the key kind of insights I kind of want to leave you with is, and this should be familiar to anybody who works in this area, psychology or social sciences, that when people are looking at the end of their life, they're on their deathbed, so to speak, oftentimes there's two really main things that cause them sadness, and that's regret and loneliness. And the actual summary talks about two types of intelligence. Is one of the reasons why I really think you should look at this summary. It talks about two types of intelligence: fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence. And crystallized intelligence is what you become stronger in the older you get. And because crystallized intelligence is more about the things that you have learned that are less hard concrete or solid, kind of like mathematics, for example, would be an example of fluid intelligence. Crystallized intelligence is softer around things like wisdom and prudence and understanding kind of the best path forward, which coincidentally is very much centered around people and dealing with um, the individuals that might be close to you in your life or the individuals that you might come across. So you'll notice that when you look at this area of regret, a lot of it is centered around feelings that you might have about the people that you regret maybe not having spent more time with them, or you regret not having made certain choices with regard to your relationships. And then loneliness, of course, is centered almost entirely around people, right? Maybe you have a pet or something, but for the most part, loneliness is about not having the people who you would like to have around you. And so I just want to encourage you, some of you that might be struggling with um, the idea of not being at the top of your game intellectually, so to speak, or with that fluid intelligence, or those of you who might value your intellectual acumen above all right now, I would encourage you to think about developing in other areas that might be around softer skills so that you can kind of head off or preempt some of the issues that might plague you when you're in the later phase of your life and you're looking at the end. Um, so that's just something to kind of help you plan. And again, the main focus of this particular series or set of videos is around purpose and meaning. And so it's important for you to understand that your purpose is not necessarily limited towards how quick, sharp, or witty you are, because you won't necessarily have that forever. So I'm just encouraging you to, in a way, hedge your bets or diversify your values, your skills, so that you can be more well-rounded and balanced. Because I think that this will ultimately help you lead a more fulfilled life. And again, this is not just coming from me. I'll reiterate the fact that I am, I'm a researcher, I'm a data scientist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a um, social worker. But at the end of the day, the research says that this is where things are going to lead, more than likely. And these are the concerns, these are the things that might make you sad or unhappy towards the end of your life. So why not get ahead of that and think about maybe approaching your intelligence or the things that you value a little bit differently. With that being said, I want to wish you the best success as usual, and I will see you next time.